The massive screen in Earth's Global Defense Command Center blinked red. Admiral James Miller stared at the warning signals, his coffee cup frozen halfway to his lips. Hundreds of objects, larger than anything humanity had ever built, were approaching from beyond Pluto's orbit. "Report," he ordered, placing his cup down carefully. "Sir, we're tracking over 3,000 objects moving at sublight speed," replied Officer Ted Brown, his fingers dancing across the holographic controls. "They're maintaining perfect formation. This isn't natural." "Sir." Miller nodded slowly. After 20 years of preparing for this moment, it had finally arrived. Humanity's first contact with an advanced alien civilization, and it wasn't coming with a friendly handshake. "Initiate Protocol 7, Miller commanded, "and get me the Defense Council. All of them." Within minutes, the world's military leaders appeared on separate screens around the command center. They had drilled this scenario countless times, but the tension in their faces showed they understood the gravity of this moment. "Ladies and gentlemen," Miller addressed them, "the day we prepared for has arrived. We have multiple contacts approaching from the outer solar system. Size and formation suggest an advanced alien fleet." General Tom Hayes of the United States spoke first. "How long until they reach Earth?" "At their current speed, 4 days," Miller replied. "But there's something else. We're receiving a transmission." The command center fell silent as the alien message began playing. The universal translator, developed from recovered alien technology decades ago, converted the strange sounds into English. "Attention. Primitive world designated as Earth. This is Grand Admiral Vex of the Galactic Empire. Your world has been chosen for integration into our civilization. Resist, and you will be conquered. Submit, and you will serve. You have 1 planetary rotation to respond." The message ended, leaving a heavy silence in its wake. "They're certainly direct," said General Hayes, breaking the tension. "I vote we show them our response now, rather than wait." The other council members nodded in agreement. For 50 years, Earth had kept its greatest secret, the discovery of alien technology that had crash-landed in various locations. While officially denying the existence of extraterrestrial life, the world's governments had worked together in secret reverse engineering the technology and preparing for this inevitable day. Miller pressed a button on his command console. "All stations, initiate Defense Plan Alpha. Uncloak orbital platforms. Power up the shield grid." Around the Earth, massive structures shimmed into visibility. Hundreds of defense platforms, hidden by advanced cloaking technology, revealed themselves. A protective energy field began forming around the planet, connecting the platforms in a web of pure energy. "Send our response," ordered Miller. The message was simple. "Attention Galactic Empire vessels. Earth declares itself the sovereign system. No entry is permitted. Any attempt to approach Earth will be met with immediate defensive action. This is your only warning." The response came quickly. "Primitive worlds do not make demands of the Empire. Your defiance will be punished. Prepare for a demonstration of Imperial power." 3 ships broke from the main fleet, accelerating toward Earth. Their weapons charged, clearly visible even at this distance. Miller smiled. "Right on schedule. Target the lead ship. Single shot, minimal power. Let's not show all our cards at once." A defense platform near the moon oriented itself. A beam of energy, too fast to track with the naked eye, struck the lead Imperial ship. The vessel's shields flared brilliantly and failed. The ship's engines died, leaving it drifting in space. The other 2 ships immediately halted their approach. "Send another message," Miller ordered. "The same as before, but add, as demonstrated, we possess technology sufficient to defend ourselves. We have no interest in conflict, but we will not submit to Imperial rule. Choose wisely." The command center erupted in quiet cheers as the 2 remaining ships retreated to their main fleet. But Miller knew this was just the beginning. "It won't be that easy," he told the Defense Council. "They'll be back, and in greater numbers. But at least now they know we're not the primitive world they thought we were. Then let them come, General Hayes replied. Earth is ready. Miller looked at the massive fleet on his screen. The real test was yet to come, but humanity had something the Empire didn't expect. 50 years of preparation, and a united world ready to defend itself. The warning shot had been fired. Now the real battle would begin. Commander Anna Stone walked through the underground facility known as the Vault, her footsteps echoing off metal walls. 50 years of secrets were stored in this mountain base, and today, those secrets would finally see the light. Status report. She called out to Dr. Wilson, who was studying a holographic display of Earth's defense grid. All systems are running at full power, Dr. Wilson replied, adjusting her glasses. The shield grid is holding steady. It's amazing to think this all started with a piece of broken metal the size of my hand. Anna nodded, remembering the story every child in the program learned. In 1974, a farmer in Kansas had found a strange piece of metal in his field. The material was unlike anything on Earth. It could change shape when electricity passed through it, and it seemed to ignore gravity. That discovery had changed everything. Show me the first artifact again, Anna requested. Dr. Wilson pressed a button, and a small display case rose from the floor. Inside was the twisted piece of alien metal that had started Earth's secret space program. Next to it sat a tablet showing pictures from that time. Government agents collecting similar pieces from across the globe. The Empire never knew they were leaving breadcrumbs, Anna said with a smile. Every failed invasion of Earth left behind technology we could study. Every probe they lost gave us more knowledge. The large screen on the wall lit up, showing Admiral Miller's face. Commander Stone, is everything ready for full deployment? Yes, sir, Anna responded. The hidden fleet is prepared to launch. All ships are fully crewed and armed. The Admiral nodded. Good, because our sensors show the Empire's diplomatic ship approaching. Time to show them what 50 years of preparation looks like. Anna turned to her team. Open the mountain. Deep rumbling filled the facility as massive doors built into the mountainside began to slide apart. Hidden by advanced cloaking technology, Earth's secret fleet had been waiting for this moment. Hundreds of ships, reverse-engineered from alien technology and improved by human innovation, stood ready for launch. All ships, power up, Anna commanded. Remember your training. Today, we show the Empire that humanity isn't just ready for space. We've been here all along. The first ship to rise from the hidden base was the Terra's Shield, Earth's most advanced battleship. Its design combined the best of alien technology with human creativity. The Empire built ships to show power. Earth built ships to win fights. Ma'am, called out Officer Jack Green from his station. Imperial diplomatic vessel is requesting landing coordinates. Anna smiled. Let's give them a proper welcome. Direct them to landing pad 1 and deactivate the cloak on our orbital defense ring. Around Earth, a massive ring of satellites and defense platforms became visible. The Imperial ship, which had been approaching confidently, suddenly stopped. They're scanning us, reported Jack. Their energy readings just spiked. Let them look, Anna replied. Send the prepared message. On every channel, in every format, the Empire might understand. Earth broadcast its message. Welcome to Earth. As you can see, we are not the primitive world you assumed. Your previous data is outdated. We will meet with your diplomats, but be aware. Any hostile action will be met with immediate and overwhelming force. The Imperial ship hung in space for several long moments before continuing its approach, much more slowly now. They're requesting to speak with our leaders, Jack announced. Anna nodded. Tell them Earth's United Defense Council will meet them. And Jack, make sure their landing path gives them a good view of our fleet. As the Imperial ship descended, it passed by rows of Earth's vessels, each one powered up and ready. The message was clear. Earth wasn't hiding anymore. In the command center, Dr. Wilson approached Anna. Do you think they'll try to fight anyway? Probably, Anna replied, watching the Imperial ship land. The Empire isn't known for accepting defeat easily, but that's fine. We've spent 50 years preparing for a fight they never knew was coming. She turned to face her crew. Whatever happens next, remember this moment. This is when humanity finally shows the galaxy who we really are. Not primitive, not weak, but patient and prepared. The Empire thought they were coming to conquer Earth. Instead, they're about to learn why that was never an option. The diplomatic ship landed, and the real test of Earth's strength was about to begin. The meeting room in Earth's Global Defense Command Center was designed to impress. One wall was completely transparent, showing Earth's newly revealed fleet hovering in the sky. The other walls displayed real-time data from Earth's defense systems. Lord Rex, the Imperial ambassador, walked in with 2 guards. He looked almost human, except for his silver skin and completely black eyes. His uniform sparkled with medals and gems. General Ton Hayes stood at the head of the table with Admiral Miller and Commander Stone. 5 other world leaders sat around the table, forming Earth's United Defense Council. "Please sit," General Hayes said, gesturing to the empty chairs. Lord Rex remained standing. The Empire does not sit as equals with primitive worlds. Admiral Miller pressed a button on the table. A hologram appeared, showing hundreds of worlds. Primitive, like these planets you've conquered in the past 50 years. Lord Rex's silver face showed surprise for just a moment. "Yes, we know about them," Miller continued. "We've been watching, learning. Every world you conquered taught us what not to do." "Impossible," Lord Rex said. "Your world has no space travel capability." Commander Stone smiled. "The Empire isn't very good at keeping track of its lost ships, is it? All those failed scouting missions over the years. We found them, studied them, improved them." She pressed another button. The hologram changed to show the Empire's invasion tactics, battle formations, and weapon systems. "We know how you fight," she said. "We know your weaknesses. The real question is, do you want to find out about ours?" Lord Rex's face turned darker silver. Anger, the humans had learned, studying Imperial biology. "You dare threaten the Empire? We have conquered 10,000 worlds." "And lost to none," General Hayes added. "Yet, but there's a first time for everything. Our fleet will darken your skies," Lord Rex warned. "Our weapons will burn your cities. The Empire does not accept defiance." Admiral Miller stood up slowly. "Look outside, Ambassador. See those ships? That's just our visible fleet. The ships you can see. Would you like to guess how many you can't see?" Lord Rex turned to the window. Earth's ships floated in perfect formation, their designs clearly more advanced than the Imperial scouts they'd originated from. "Your weapons are copies," Lord Rex said, but his voice held less certainty now. "Primitive copies of Imperial technology." General Hayes laughed. "Copies? No. We took your designs and made them better. Your shield technology, we improved it. Your weapons, enhanced. Your ships, redesigned. 50 years of human innovation added to stolen Imperial tech." Commander Stone touched a control, and a small drone appeared in the room. It floated to Lord Rex, scanning him. "Right now," she said, "similar drones are scanning your ship. We know exactly what weapons you brought. We know your shield frequencies. We know everything. This is your last chance," Lord Rex said. "Submit to the Empire willingly, and your leaders can keep some power. Resist, and we will destroy you completely." Admiral Miller smiled and pressed one final button. Outside, Earth's planetary shield flickered into view. A massive energy field surrounded the entire planet, connecting thousands of defense platforms. "You're not here to negotiate," Miller said calmly. "You're here to delay us while your fleet approaches. It just entered the solar system, by the way. All 3,000 ships." Lord Rex's face showed shock again. Their fleet's approach was supposed to be undetectable. "Here's what's going to happen," General Hayes said. You're going to return to your ship. You're going to tell your fleet that Earth is not accepting Imperial rule. And then you're going to leave. Or, Lord Rex asked. Or we show you exactly how much we've learned in 50 years. Commander Stone finished. Your choice. Lord Rex looked at each human face around the table. For the first time in his long career as an Imperial ambassador, he saw no fear. These humans weren't playing a game. They weren't bluffing. This isn't over, he said, turning to leave. No, Admiral Miller agreed. It's just beginning. But remember, you're not fighting the primitive world you expected. You're fighting the world that had 50 years to prepare for this exact moment. As the doors closed behind Lord Rex, General Hayes turned to his colleagues. Well, that went exactly as expected. Battle stations, everyone. The real fight is about to start. Outside, Earth's fleet began moving into defensive positions. The Empire was coming, but Earth was ready. Captain Robert Wells stood on the bridge of Terra's Fist, his eyes fixed on the massive display showing the approaching Imperial fleet. 1,000 ships had broken away from the main fleet, heading straight for Earth. They're testing us, he said to his crew. 1,000 ships instead of their full force. They still think we're weak. The radio crackled with Admiral Miller's voice. All ships, battle positions. Remember your training. Today we show the Empire what humanity can do. Earth's defense fleet moved into formation. 500 visible ships, each carrying weapons and shields that would surprise the Empire. Behind them, another 500 ships remained cloaked, waiting for the perfect moment. Enemy fleet entering weapon range in 3 minutes, reported Officer Lisa Green, her hand steady on the controls. Captain Wells nodded. Send the warning message one last time. The message went out. Imperial fleet, this is your final warning. Leave Earth's space or face the consequences. The Imperial ships responded by launching their first wave of fighters. Thousands of small, fast ships poured out of the larger vessels. Right on schedule, Wells smiled. Activate the defense grid. Around Earth, hundreds of defense platforms hummed to life. Each one had been built using improved Imperial technology. As the fighter wave approached, the platforms fired. Blue energy beams cut through space. The Imperial fighter shields flashed and failed instantly. In seconds, half the fighter wave was gone. Imperial fleet is responding, Lisa reported. They're charging main weapons. Now they'll learn their first lesson, Wells said. Activate shield bubble defense. The Empire's ships fired, their energy weapons lighting up space. But as the beams approached Earth's fleet, something new happened. The shields didn't just block the attacks. They caught them, formed them into balls of energy, and sent them back. Imperial ships rocked as their own weapons hit them. Confusion spread through their ranks. They're adjusting tactics, Lisa called out. Switching to missile weapons. Perfect. Commander Stone, you're up, Wells radioed. From behind Earth's moon, Commander Anna Stone led the cloaked ships into position. As the Imperial missiles approached, her fleet decloaked directly in their path. The missiles, locked onto Earth's main fleet, couldn't adjust in time. They exploded harmlessly against the new ship shields. Phase 2, ordered Admiral Miller over the radio. Show them what Earth can really do. Every Earth ship activated their main weapons, technology that had started as Imperial designs, but had been transformed by human innovation. Instead of simple energy beams, these weapons fired streams of concentrated quantum particles that ignored shields completely. Imperial ships began exploding. Their unbeatable shields meant nothing against weapons they'd never seen before. They're retreating, Lisa reported, excitement in her voice. Not yet, they're not, Wells replied. Watch their formation. The Imperial ships were moving back, but also spreading out. It was a standard Imperial tactic, one Earth had studied for years. Here comes their super weapon, Wells said. Ready the countermeasure. The Imperial fleet's formation created a web of energy, building up to a massive blast that could destroy whole planets. They'd used it to force countless worlds to surrender. Energy buildup detected, Lisa reported. They're about to fire. Wells pressed a button on his command chair. Initiate Project Mirror. As the Imperial fleet released their planet-killer blast, something remarkable happened. Earth's defense platforms linked together, creating a curved energy field. The Imperial weapon hit this field and curved, following its shape. The massive blast curved around Earth and shot back into space, directly at the Imperial fleet. The Empire's ships scattered in panic as their own weapon approached. Several weren't fast enough. The blast caught them, turning proud Imperial warships into space dust. Enemy fleet is breaking formation, Lisa reported. They're running. The surviving Imperial ships turned and fled at full speed, leaving their damaged and destroyed ships behind. Captain Wells stood up. Send the message we prepared. Earth broadcast to the retreating fleet. This was just our first line of defense. Return, and you'll see what else we've prepared in 50 years. Earth is not yours to take. As the Imperial ships disappeared into deep space, Wells turned to his crew. Good work, everyone. But don't celebrate yet. They'll be back, and next time they'll bring their full fleet. Let them come, Lisa said, speaking for the whole crew. We've got more surprises waiting. The first battle was over. Earth had won, but the war was just beginning. Dr. Mary Wilson stared at her computer screen in the main control room of Earth's defense grid. Something wasn't right. The power readings were slightly off, just a tiny bit, but enough to catch her attention. Computer, show me all system access points from the last 24 hours, she commanded. The screen filled with data. Most of it looked normal, but there was a pattern hidden in the noise. Someone was trying to be clever, but they had made a small mistake. She grabbed her phone. Admiral Miller, we have a problem. Someone's trying to hack the defense grid, and they're doing it from inside our facility. Within minutes, security teams quietly spread throughout the building. Dr. Wilson watched through security cameras as they searched for the intruder. Dr. Wilson called Officer Tom Baker from his station. We're getting reports from other facilities. Similar access attempts detected in London, Moscow, and Beijing. It's not just hackers, she realized. This is the Empire's new plan. They're trying to turn us against each other. Admiral Miller's voice came over the speaker. All facilities, full lockdown. Dr. Wilson, find out how they got in. She dived into the computer logs, tracing the intrusion attempts. The pattern became clear. The hackers had used security codes from different nations, trying to make it look like countries were attacking each other. Admiral, she reported, they're using old codes. Codes from before Earth united. They're trying to spark old rivalries. On the main screen, news reports started appearing. Protests were breaking out in major cities. People were scared, angry, pointing fingers at other nations. This is their real attack, Admiral Miller said grimly. They want us to fight each other so we're weak when they return. Dr. Wilson worked faster, following digital trails. Got something. The attacks are being coordinated from a hidden transmitter. It's in the old mountain bunker we abandoned last year. Commander Stone's voice joined the conversation. My team is closest. We're moving in. Through security feeds, Dr. Wilson watched as Commander Stone's Special Forces team approached the old bunker. Inside, they found what they were looking for. Imperial agents, using advanced technology to hack Earth's systems. 5 arrests made, Commander Stone reported. But there's something else. They had help getting in. Human help. Dr. Wilson checked the bunker's security logs. Found them. 20 people used their old security codes to access the bunker in the last week, sending their names to security now. Admiral Miller's voice was cold. Bring them in. All of them. The next few hours were busy. Security teams around the world arrested Empire sympathizers, people who thought helping the Empire would save them when Earth fell. Dr. Wilson worked with her team to close every security hole, change every code. On her main screen, She could see the Empire's main fleet, still waiting at the edge of the solar system. "They really thought this would work," she said to Officer Baker. "They thought we'd turn on each other." "That's because they don't understand us," he replied. "They don't know what happened 50 years ago, when we found that first piece of their technology, how it brought us together instead of dividing us." On the news channels, the protests were ending. World leaders were making announcements, showing unity. Earth wasn't falling for the Empire's tricks. "All security breaches contained," Dr. Wilson reported to Admiral Miller. "Defense grid is secure. All facilities report normal operations." "Good work," Miller replied. "Because our long-range scanners show the Imperial fleet is moving again. They're coming back, and this time they're bringing everything they have." Dr. Wilson looked at her team, saw the determination on their faces. The Empire's attempt to divide Earth had failed. Instead, it had made them stronger, more united. "Let them come," she said, checking the defense grid's power levels. "We're ready." Around Earth, the planetary shield glowed stronger than ever. The defense platforms adjusted their positions, preparing for the biggest battle yet. Earth's fleet moved into formation, visible ships and cloaked ships working together. The Empire's attempt to break Earth from within had failed. Now they would try to break it from without. But Earth was ready for that too. 50 years of preparation hadn't just given them technology, it had given them unity. And that was something the Empire couldn't break. Admiral James Miller stood in Earth's main command center, watching as 10,000 Imperial ships filled the screens. The entire Empire fleet had arrived, spreading across space like a metal cloud. "They've positioned their planet-killer ships in the center," Commander Stone reported. 6 of them this time. Miller nodded. "And their Supreme Commander?" "Flagship identified," Officer Baker answered, pointing to a massive ship at the fleet's heart. "It's 3 times larger than anything we've seen before." The Imperial fleet's message arrived exactly as expected. "Primitive world, you have earned the Empire's full attention. Surrender now, or we will destroy your planet completely. You have 1 hour to decide." Miller looked at the faces around him. 50 years of preparation had led to this moment. "Send our response." A single word went back to the Imperial fleet. No. The Empire didn't wait an hour. Their fleet surged forward immediately, weapons charging. This time, they attacked with everything at once. "All ships, execute Battle Plan Omega," Miller commanded. "Dr. Wilson, activate the dimensional shields." Earth's defense platforms hummed to life, but differently this time. Instead of creating a normal shield, they bent space itself. The Empire's first wave of attacks disappeared into nothing. "What's this?" The Imperial Supreme Commander's voice boomed across all channels. "Your tricks won't save you. Fire the planet killers." All 6 planet killer ships moved into position, forming a deadly ring. Energy built up between them, growing into a blast that could crack a planet in half. "Now, Dr. Wilson," Miller ordered. Dr. Wilson pressed her hand against a scanner. Around Earth, hundreds of hidden devices activated. These weren't weapons. They were something entirely new, built from humanity's understanding of dimensional space. As the planet killer blast fired, reality itself seemed to bend. The massive energy beams split apart, flowing into different dimensions, completely missing Earth. "Impossible," the Supreme Commander shouted. "Nothing can stop the planet killer." "You're right," Miller responded calmly. "Nothing in your empire can stop it. But we're not part of your empire. Captain Wells, show them what 50 years of human science can do." Captain Wells' voice came over the radio. Terra's fist, initiating dimensional jump. His ship vanished from its position near Earth. A moment later, it appeared inside the Imperial fleet's formation, right next to the flagship. "How?" The Supreme Commander's voice showed fear for the first time. "No one has dimensional jump technology." "No one in your empire," Miller corrected. "You gave us 50 years to study space itself. Did you think we'd only copy your technology?" More Earth ships performed dimensional jumps, appearing throughout the Imperial fleet. The Empire's perfect formation broke apart as ships tried to turn and fight enemies that could appear anywhere. "This is your last chance," Miller broadcast to the flagship. "Surrender and leave. Never return to Earth." "The Empire does not surrender," the Supreme Commander replied. "All ships, activate self-destruct. We'll take their planet with us." "I was hoping you'd do that," Miller smiled. "Dr. Wilson, activate the gravity nets." Hidden devices around the solar system activated. Suddenly, the Imperial ships couldn't move. They were caught in artificial gravity fields, their engines powerless. "You can't self-destruct your ships if they're held in our gravity nets," Miller explained. "Now, watch carefully." Earth's fleet surrounded the trapped Imperial ships. But instead of firing, they created a special shield around each vessel. A shield that went only one way. Imperial crews could leave their ships, but the ships themselves couldn't move or explode. "Your choice," Miller told the Supreme Commander. "Order your crews to evacuate, or stay trapped in your own ships. Either way, the Empire's fleet now belongs to Earth." Hours passed as escape pods launched from Imperial ships. Earth's fleet collected them all, treating the crews with respect, but keeping them under guard. The Supreme Commander was the last to surrender, leaving his flagship as Earth's ships moved in to claim it. "Remember this day," Miller broadcast to the captured Imperial crews. "Remember that Earth didn't destroy you when we could have. Remember that humans chose mercy over revenge. And when you return to your empire, remember to tell them one thing: Earth is off limits. The battle was over. Humanity had won. And the galaxy would never be the same." 1 month after Earth's victory, Admiral James Miller stood in the United Nations building in New York, looking out at the changed skyline. Imperial ships, now painted with Earth's colors, floated peacefully above the city. They were a reminder of humanity's greatest victory. "The Imperial diplomats are ready," Commander Stone announced, entering the room. "And you'll want to see this. We're getting signals from other worlds." Miller followed her into the grand meeting hall. The room was packed. Earth's leaders sat on one side, while the new Imperial representatives, not conquerors this time, but true diplomats, sat on the other. "Let us begin," General Hayes said, standing at the podium. "We are here to discuss the terms of peace." The lead Imperial diplomat, no longer wearing the bright medals of the Empire but simple diplomatic robes, spoke first. "The Empire recognizes Earth as an independent power. We seek terms." Dr. Wilson, sitting at a computer station, raised her hand. "Before we continue, Admiral Miller, those signals I mentioned, they're getting stronger. 17 different worlds are broadcasting to us." Miller nodded. "Put them on screen." The wall-sized display lit up with transmissions from planets across the galaxy. Each one had been under Imperial rule. Now they were reaching out to Earth, the world that had done the impossible. "We've translated their messages," Dr. Wilson said. "They're all asking for the same thing: help in gaining their independence." The Imperial diplomat stood quickly. "Those worlds belong to the Empire." "No world belongs to the Empire," Miller replied calmly. "That's our first term. Earth's space, from here to Pluto, is now a free zone. No Imperial ships, no Imperial bases." He touched a control, and a hologram appeared showing Earth's new defense network. Thousands of platforms, hundreds of ships, and the dimensional technology that had won the war. "Our second term," he continued. "Any world that asks for independence must be given a choice: stay with the Empire or govern themselves. The Empire will never agree." The diplomat protested. Captain Wells stepped forward, his voice firm but kind. "You don't understand. These aren't requests. Earth now has your fleet, your technology, and abilities you never imagined. We're telling you how things will be." General Hayes raised his hand for quiet. "Let me be clear. We don't want to rule an empire. We don't want to conquer worlds. We want peace and freedom, for ourselves and any others who desire it." On the screens, more signals appeared. More worlds calling for freedom. The Imperial diplomat looked at them, then at Earth's leaders, and something seemed to change in his expression. Perhaps, he said slowly, it is time for the Empire to change. Over the next few hours, they worked out the details. Earth would lead a new free systems alliance. Any world could join, any world could leave. The Empire would remain, but as a cooperative force, not a conquering one. There's one more thing, Miller said as they finished. The technology we developed. The dimensional drives, the gravity nets, the new shields. We'll share them with everyone. Empire and free worlds alike. The room went quiet. The Empire had kept its technology secret, using it to control others. Earth was choosing a different path. Why would you share such power? The Imperial diplomat asked. Commander Stone answered, because that's what humans do. We learn, we grow, and we share. That's why we won. Not because we were stronger, but because we were willing to work together. As the meeting ended, Miller walked back to the window. The sun was setting, casting a golden light over the city. Above, stars were becoming visible. Stars that now represented not threats, but possibilities. Dr. Wilson joined him. The first free worlds are already asking to send ambassadors. We'll need to build a bigger meeting room. Miller smiled. Build it. Earth's not just defending itself anymore. We're defending everyone who wants to be free. And the Empire? She asked. They'll adapt, he replied. They have to. The galaxy's changing, and we're helping it change for the better. As night fell over Earth, ships rose into the sky, not to fight this time, but to carry a message to other worlds. Earth had fought for its freedom and won. Now it would help others do the same. The story that began 50 years ago with a piece of metal in a Kansas field had become something greater than anyone imagined. Earth had become not just a free world, but a beacon of hope for the entire galaxy. The end.